Good evening, everyone. This is Bianca Pagano.
And I'm Matthew Surrey.
Tonight is Friday the 20th. The time is now 7 p.m. Welcome to the third show of Phillipian Live. Coming to you live from the newsroom, this week on the show.
Classics instructor Mr. Kip is celebrating his 51st year at Andover, making his career the longest in Andover history. Stay tuned to hear Kip talk about he and campus have changed over the past 51 years.
Next in the news. This year marks the first time that affinity student group Alianza Latina will host Latinx Heritage Month. The group will host a variety of events throughout the month, including salsa night and a public discussion panel.
Later in the show, Light and Hope, a nonprofit organization run by Salvador Gomez, class of 21, sends help to victims of Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas. Hear how the organization began the campaign to raise $10,000 at Andover to aid the struggling victims.
And last on the show, we'll welcome special guest Jason Zhang, class of 23, who made his debut as a speaker at ASM last week. We'll talk with him about his first days on campus and his involvement with music, including a live performance. Stay tuned.
Donning his orange toga, Nicholas Kip, class of 60, instructor in classics, sets the tone for the department's declamation contest, an annual event in which students recite famous Latin speeches. This fall will be Kip's 51st year in the classics department, breaking the record for the longest teaching career at Andover. The record was formerly held by Thomas Cohn, instructor in biology, who retired in 2017 after having taught for 50 years. Kip is well known by students and faculty for the stories he tells, and live reporter Alex Oder brings a few of them here tonight.
Thank you. For the last 51 years, Kip has taught several classics classes at Andover, including Greek, Latin, and etymology. Kip graduated from Andover in the class of 1960 and attended Princeton University. His time as a faculty member at Andover began only half a decade before the Andover-Abbott merger. He was also involved with making decisions about some of the school's most ambitious programs, some of which are still in place today.
First of all, basically, they decided that requirements, as such, were not necessarily the best way to guide students through school. The best way to do it was to have them find things that they wanted to do and do it, maybe with a little adult help along the way. Made sense. And in the process, this committee I was on to sort of formalize this invented something called the trimester system. 1968. Wow.
Of course, like many of us, his time as a student at Andover was not without its struggles. After failing out of French class during his freshman year at Andover, Kip slowly discovered how he personally enjoyed learning. According to Kip, he would record himself speaking French and keep it playing so that he would fall asleep listening to the French recordings.
When I came, my parents decided I should take French. I was allowed to take both French and Latin, and they had just started something called the direct method. It's now called the target language method, where they speak only French in the classroom. And I had a great deal of difficulty getting my head around this one, and in fact, I'll let you guess what kind of a grade I had at the first midterm. You want to guess? 0. Cold-blooded 0. And there was a true numeric 0. I mean, I got a 0 every day for the first 7 weeks.
And, like many of us, his time at Andover is not also without its various shenanigans.
They had this, sailing tournament, and as you can see, this is in Sports Illustrated, and we almost lost. I was the skipper. I was the guy who steered the damn boat and decided what all the strategy was and that kind of thing. And the reason we almost lost was that the night before the last day of racing, I had gone out on an all-night date with an Abbott girl. So, needless to say, not having had any real sleep the night before was fairly useless. But I said, you know what? And I had one of these aha moments. I said, look, I think if we go over this way, the wind is going to be better over here. And it was. And we won, and it was a point system, and we won by 1/4 of a point.
Through his extensive time as a faculty member at Andover, Kip has gained a unique perspective on how Andover students learn. His many experiences teaching have left him with plenty of advice for younger faculty members.
It's very important to try to hear students participate in class and listen carefully to that to see what does it tell me about whether they're getting it or not. And that's my wife says it. She's a counselor, so she spends a lot of time listening to, she said, that's one of the hardest things to do is to listen perceptively. And it's something I have to keep reminding myself to do.
Although Kip currently holds the record for longest tenure at Andover, he has no current plans to retire. Kip hopes to continue teaching at Andover for the foreseeable future. Be on the lookout for a full video of stories from Kip's video coming in the next few weeks. Alex Oder, reporting.
Thank you, Alex.
Only one more year left at
Next
Andover.
online,
I am so happy and
Andover's-
grateful to be able to say that PA will now be dedicating an entire month of celebration called Phillips Academy Latinx Heritage Month to line up with the national celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 25th. 15.
Next on Live, Andover's newly established Latinx Heritage Month. This clip is from the last ASM last Friday, September 13th, the first one of the year. In past years, Andover has held a Latinx Arts Weekend, but this fall, Andover will have its first Latinx Heritage Month. Many events, both new and old, celebrating Latinx heritage are planned. Here's Live associate Lexi Mariano with the story.
Thank you. Alianza Latina is Andover's affinity club for students who identify as Latinx. However, Alianza is only in its second year of being an affinity club.
This year, Alianza will be in its second year of becoming an affinity space for the Latinx students on campus. Last year, we focused on building a supportive community for all Latinx students to feel safe, celebrated, and loved. This year, we will continue that work, and I invite every student who identifies as Latinx to come to Alianza meetings and become a part of our family.
I was part of the process of becoming affinity, and there were a lot of people who were kind of against it just because they wouldn't come to our meetings. So holding the first open door meeting is super important to me, just to get the people who are my friends, a lot of them who wanted to keep Alianza as a club so they can come to our meetings now, invite them in, especially for the last day of the month.
And we sort of wanted to start expanding in a way that would become all campus inclusive and also still honor our affinity values. So we figured having something like Latinx Heritage Month, which wasn't previously seen on this campus, would be great.
Since Alianza co-president Ashley Alvarez was a freshman, Andover has held Latinx Arts Weekend each year. Ashley says this was off-putting for her because she was very proud of her Latina heritage growing up. So she decided to reach out to others in the Andover community, including Linda Carter-Griffith, Assistant Head of School for Equity, Inclusion, and Wellness, and LaShawn Springer, Director of Community and Multicultural Development.
When I became co-president of Alianza Latina, it was kind of my dream to extend it from a weekend to a month, and it was hard at first, trying to convince myself mainly to have the courage to ask. But after I did talk to my other co-president and talking to my board and talking to my faculty advisors, it was really surprising how on board everyone was with the idea, and it wasn't just me who felt like we deserved the month.
There are many events planned for Latinx Heritage Month. The month of events will kick off with an open house for Viva, Andover's first Latinx dance group. Alvarez is also the co-head of Viva, which was just created this year. Salsa Night, a staple of the former Latinx weekend, will also be making a return. Alianza is also looking to host new events to be more inclusive of others, including reaching out to other schools.
Just focusing on definitely the community building, we still want to focus on that. We wanted to sort of have fun, but also educational and attractive events that would garner the campus attention, and also stuff that was new. So for example, the regional, which will include local high schools, isn't really something that has been done before. We sort of tend to reach out for the same boarding schools, and we figured why not try schools like Lawrence High or Methuen High. So bringing those schools in will definitely be something that'll make Latinx Heritage Month stand out. We definitely want to make it something that where everyone feels completely safe. Bringing in an instructor, for example, will help everyone learn. It's not going to be something where if you can't dance, it's going to be embarrassing. The whole point is to instruct people how to dance, also just have a good time. So hopefully that should be universal.
Another open to the public event this month will be a sort of unorthodox panel with several keynote speakers. These speakers are all Latinx Andover alumni and will be coming in from places such as New York or local in Boston. This open to the public panel will take place on Friday, October 4th. Alvarez weighs in on the diversity of the panel, which she will be moderating.
They identify from different things. They identify as Mexican, Panamanian, all different types of ethnicities and cultures will be represented on the panel and different professions. So our goal in having a panel that's so diverse, just professionally and culturally, is to kind of, one, emphasize that Latinidad isn't just this one kind of stereotypical thing. It's so many cultures and so many countries and so many things that we do with our lives, and not just this idea that's perpetrated by the media of one thing that defines Latinidad.
Dominguez and Alvarez say the purpose of the events are to better represent Latinx students on campus and share their culture within the community.
For Latinx students on campus, we're 8% of the total student body. We're not very well represented, not really much talked about in ASMs. Obviously, race is a big topic that is discussed at the school, yet when we get to ethnicity, there's Latino and all that stuff concerning that identity, it gets a bit ambiguous. So definitely having something for Latinx students to look forward to and celebrate would be and is great.
Especially since this is the first month we really want it to be successful. It's, first of all, our first month at Andover, and also it's a chance to really kind of highlight Latinidad in the way that it hasn't on campus before. Everyone can enjoy the music or the food or the culture and just learn about it in a way that it doesn't feel like anyone's excluded.
Latinx Heritage Month will last from now until October 15th. Lexi Mariano reporting.
Thanks, Lexi.
While Alianza Latina was organizing celebrations of Latinx heritage, Student Council and Salvador Gomez Colon, class of 21, were organizing aid for hurricane victims in the Bahamas. Dorian is one of the only Category 5 storms to hit the region in history, and the aftermath has been catastrophic. Light and Hope, a nonprofit organization headed by Gomez, will send aid. At ASM last week, Andover Student Council announced an initiative to raise money for the cause. Here's Shira Wolpowitz with the story.
Thank you. Here is Gomez in a 2017 CNN Business interview. Light and Hope is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated towards fundraising for hurricane relief in Puerto Rico. Born and raised in Puerto Rico, Gomez started the organization to provide disaster relief supplies following Hurricane Maria in 2017. Here is Gomez distributing supplies to affected communities. Gomez raised over $160,000 during his first campaign, which went towards purchasing and distributing portable solar lamps and hand-powered washing machines for residents in the most affected areas in the country. Gomez's work was also featured on Time's 2017 30 Most Influential Teens. Now, Gomez plans to provide aid to victims of Hurricane Dorian by partnering with the Andover community to raise funds.
As I witnessed the immense amount of damage and destruction that the Bahamas have faced after Dorian hit at a catastrophic level, much, much worse than what Maria was for Puerto Rico, I knew that I wasn't just going to stay and watch as people would suffer and people would need help while not doing anything for it. And I wanted to involve the PA community, right? So I didn't have Andover 2 years ago when I was doing this in Puerto Rico. I definitely didn't have a school that would support me and a community that would be so active like Andover.
Following Hurricane Dorian, Gomez has started a school-wide campaign to raise $10,000 for Light and Hope. The initiative hopes to reach at least 300 households throughout the Abaco Islands, a region of the Bahamas particularly devastated by the storm. Gomez plans to send supplies to shelters in Nassau with the goal of helping homeless survivors feel clean and safe.
It's never too hard. It's never impossible, right? And I feel like whenever we see a cause that needs to be addressed, we're doing a disservice to others if we just ignore it, right? And I feel like it's really important to identify these things that move us and we know that we want to help and just do it, right? Because if we overthink it and if we, overlook it, then we can expect others to do it as well, right? But we need to make sure that we are not overlooking and that we are actually spotting what needs help and people that need help and just helping.
Last Friday, student body co-presidents Shahinda Banasi and Sebastian Romero announced the Bahamas Relief Initiative. They met with Mr. Ventry, Miss Elliott, and Mr. Capano for help with organizing this initiative.
We met with Mr. Ventry, Miss Elliott, and using that, we quickly conversed, they quickly got on board, and they were more than enthusiastic to join us. We got talking to Mr. Capano, getting the ASM time to say and make the announcement?
To help raise funds, Student Council plans to hold a fundraising raffle where students can buy tickets for a chance to pie Interim Head of School Jim Ventry or Dean of Students Jennifer Elliott. Students can enter the raffle by purchasing one ticket for $3 or two for $5. The two student body co-presidents could not have done it without the support of Andover faculty. Co-president Sebastian Romero weighs in on setting a new precedent for future Andover leaders.
Honestly, I just think it sets an example because I don't know of in my time here of another co-presidential player who has done like a fundraising effort or anything like that. So I just feel it sets the tone for future co-presidential players to know that they can do things that are outside of the box and that they can, we have a student council or do fundraising events if they want to or anything else. Set the ceiling high and reach it.
The pieing event will eventually take place in the Flagstaff courtyard after the all-school meeting on October 4th. Shira Wolpowitz reporting.
Thank you, Shira.
Next on the show, last week's ASM featured an unlikely star speaker. Jason Zhang, class of 23, spoke about his experience as a repeat freshman, as an international student, and as someone learning to navigate the Andover community. Zhang instantly won the crowd over. Please welcome Jason live on the show.
Hello, Jason. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing pretty well. I just saw the photo that you guys posted on the monitor.
Really?
That was...
Oh
my
yes,
God.
Can you tell us?
Oh my God.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
So I went to Fay, which is a private junior boarding school from 7th through 9, and then in my 9th grade, I like doing theater, so that was my 9th grade year musical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did Once on This Island, and then
Who did you play?
I was supposed to be the God of Water, but in that, I don't know what I'm supposed to be anymore, bro. The stick was pretty cool though. The wand, I don't know, the staff, the storm staff, pretty cool.
And being at Fay, it's you said that was a boarding school that you did for middle school and up to 9th grade. Can you speak a little bit more on how that experience living at a middle school? What have you learned that you are transferring over here, and also how is it repeating the 9th grade because you already did 9th grade?
Yeah. So when I went to Fay, it was kind of a completely new environment for me because before that, I always received my education in Shanghai from kindergarten all the way up to 6th grade. And then I really went to Fay based off of I went to their open house, but I wasn't even thinking of applying. I was just kind of checking out how schools in the U.S. are.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Should probably try to apply. And then so that experience really made me familiar with the whole what it feels like to be in international boarding school, because before in my hometown of Shanghai it was just people from my hometown, and there I met people from all over the world, and there were a lot of people from different places, and that was kind of the first time I had experience with that. And then coming here at Andover even expands more on that sort of thing, and then I was just amazed by the diversity here and all different opportunities we have. And so that's part of the reason why I repeated, actually, is because I really wanted the full 4 years of, they call high school experience at Andover, starting from 9th grade. So that's probably why I chose to repeat.
Of course.
Wow. So what are the main differences that you've seen since you've been here for 2-3 weeks now?
Main differences? Well, the biggest one I think is everything here. There's just so I've said this before, but there's so many opportunities here. Yeah. The club rally, I believe, is next week. I'm very excited for that.
It's tomorrow, right?
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I was wrong. It's tomorrow, guys. It's tomorrow. Go to the club rally. Yes, it's tomorrow, and I'm really excited for that. And that's just one of the many examples of how they really allow you to explore what you're interested in, and also let you discover what you might not have known you would be interested in. And that really, here, Andover really gives a really good platform for that.
Speaking about your interests, in the paper this week we heard about your interest in music and also theater. Can you speak more about what you've done in music and different instruments you play and things like that?
So I played the guitar, and that is the only instrument that I can play. And I played for 5 years or so. But what I'm really interested in is writing songs on the guitar, and then recording them and making them in the computer into like audio tracks that I can then share with other people. I just feel like that whole creative experience is really interesting for me, and that's one of my biggest interests so far. But that always changes. Like a year from now, might be interested in completely different things. So
That's high school.
We do have a second picture here. That was provided by David.
Oh, wow! I love that. Can you tell us a little bit about
explain that picture?
So that was my that was my 7th grade musical, and I was the little brother of the main character of the play. The play was Bye Bye Birdie. Wow. If any of you probably none of you have heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Oh really?
I'm a theater geek.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know much about theater.
Yeah, no, sorry,
Yeah,
not so much for Surrey. So because you play guitar, we wanted, we were wondering if you could give us a little snippet.
Yes, we do have a guitar on stage here.
And someone also,
Alex.
would you be so, I would be so grateful if you pass me a phone.
Are lyrics.
I think we're going to do a surprise duet with.
Oh no, we're not.
No, we're doing a sing along, guys.
We're doing a sing along. It's
Sing-along.
optional.
It's optional, guys. If any of you.
What song, Jason? What song are you singing for us today?
So here, this is one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest songs in human history.
We get a drum roll, please, Surrey.
Yes, it's called "I Want It That Way" by Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, so Surrey and I have lyrics here. So whenever you're ready, and I want everybody to sing along. So if anybody feels in their heart that they should sing along in the newsroom, just join in. I think we all know. Yes, I think we all know the chorus, right?
Yes, we should all know the chorus.
I see some enthusiastic smiles out there. All
right. You guys ready? All right, here we go. You are my fire, the one desire believes when I say I want it that way, but we are 2 worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Say, tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. 'Cause I want it that way. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Chills, literal chills.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you
Jason.
for our show.
Say goodbye to our audience.
Goodbye, Jason.
Thank you so much. He's great, Surrey.
It was
amazing kid. So
Beautiful
much
talent.
So much
Beautiful
talent on this campus. All right. So this week in the paper, today was issue number 18, I think, volume CXLII, the Phillipian's second full paper of the school year. This week in news, you can read about the relocation of the iconic bicentennial sculpture from the Greener Quadrangle to the Knoll. And commentary, Leela Hardy explores the rabbit hole effect, a phenomenon on social media where users are pushed toward more and more extreme content to drive up engagement. And sports, read about field hockey's shoutouts against Thayer and Lawrence Academy. Finally, in arts, read about the Sofia Martin Franco, class of 20, a PG from Spain who takes style inspiration from Harajuku, a popular trend in Japanese culture.
And as always, if you're interested in Phillipian Live or the Phillipian as a whole, come find us at the club rally in the newsroom or visit our website to join. Anyone can sign up to be a writer for any section of the print paper or be a reporter on Phillipian Live and go live on air to present your segment. If you're interested in video, graphics, or live production, we'd love to have you as well. Go to philippian.net/join or email um@philippian.net for more information.
And that's all for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you tune in next Friday.
Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend.